we're in the band-aid stage where coffee. Like I talked to a nutritionist of this billionaire. The first thing I changed it for him was the water, because he had all these organic or chef and water, blah blah blah. But he was like, the water is not as A game, and it's 80% of who you are.
Right.
So I would say at least 60% people are inflamed. They're not fat. There might be fat in there, but most of them are inflamed. They're just like puffy. Crazy thing is the bacteria in our gut actually have direct access from the gut all the way up to the brain. So when you're feeling moody, anxious, depressed, like everything is from our gut.
Wow.
So it controls a lot more than we think.
If I'm an entrepreneur just starting out, or like a mom or dad just have a newborn baby, 9 to 5 is really busy, but I want to get my health in order. If they have 15 minutes a day, what would you suggest?
For everyone who starts, I would say like start from yeah.
How come?
Because it's kind of like,
well, like today's focus, I really want to get down to this because I know I'm having this problem.
oh yeah.
But it's something that I've said along my journey of like life, not working 9 to 5, as well as journeying into entrepreneurship, is like just accepting it's like, oh, it's just me getting old. Like I'm feeling tired because I'm getting old. But when I started seeing your stuff, I was like, wait a minute, maybe it's not just the age, but it's just like what I set standard as. And one of the things I think you really highlight well is with water. And I was like, what's wrong with water that I'm drinking? Right. I think for the majority of my listeners are like entrepreneurs that are starting out, but I know there's a standard of like, why are we accepting this level of fatigue?
Right.
So can I just start with that question? Like,
yeah.
Like, what do you find that actually, I wrote it down. So let me read it.
Okay.
I don't butcher it.
Let's do this.
See, I prepared it. Yeah. So, okay. How disconnected are we in terms of listening to our bodies when it comes to energy levels and like longevity in our society today?
Okay, let's do this one by one.
Yeah.
Like energy level, I think we're in a culture where we're in the band-aid stage where coffee, like spiking coffee, and then now we have like the matcha trend where but like even just comparing matcha and coffee, you can see the energy level. Matcha gives you 6 hours of steady energy, and it's cleaner energy in terms of like it's coming from tea, it's not like just caffeine, right? And then more and more studies are coming out that caffeine is actually not good for you. It dries you out,
right?
And the spike just like kills. Like I'm sure like it's up and then bam, and then you're chasing for another cup. But overall it's just about how our cells, our mitochondria. So like it's in every cell there's a battery pack. So imagine like your phone, you have a battery pack, right?
Yeah.
So in every cell there's a mitochondria, which is the battery pack, and it gets old, it ages, it needs to renew, it needs to be changed,
like recycled. Yeah, sure. Yeah.
But as we age, that function kind of dies down. It doesn't replace properly, it doesn't recharge properly. So like it goes all the way down into your mitochondria, but no one talks about it.
Right.
Not a lot of supplements target that, but we're so surface level right now. We're just like coffee, matcha, like energy, and then
just trying to survive.
Yeah.
Like help me out here.
Exactly. And then we're also fighting like $1 billion industry too, right? Like no one wants people off coffee or medication or like drugs, right? So like it's a big shift right now. Like entrepreneurs, biohackers, or whatever you want to call them now, are more aware,
right?
But like everyone is finding like a different approach to it, and I think it's a good shift because everyone is more aware and awakening. But it's hard. Like I even tell people who are like really into coffee, I'm like, look, coffee's not great. Like, look, let's switch to matcha. At least you get a constant energy if that's what you're going for, right? But a lot of people is like, oh, I'm so into like that pouring,
the whisking.
like, so they're like, oh, it's part of my day. Like it's
routine.
part of their identity already.
Interesting. Yeah.
So like they can't let go for trading of like more better energy or cleaner energy, right?
Yeah.
So like, but I go into water, which makes 70 to 80% of who we are.
Okay. So it's not just water. You said there's like, it's hydrogen water. And when I heard that first, I was like, hydrogen water is like some like, other like sparkling water that you get to
Right,
put in.
right,
And my knowledge was so like limited.
Yeah.
But as I kept on researching it and I kept on hearing you talk about it, I'm like, no, I think there's some truth behind this. So let's sort of like define for the audience member, like what is hydrogen water and how does that help boost that mitochondria or like, yeah.
So hydrogen water, like, it got popular because Andrew Huberman,
Andrew Huberman, right?
yeah,
right.
he blew it up,
Right.
and then he talked about it for a long time, and it's actually been around for more than 50 years. So the originate of hydrogen water, where people kind of studied it, is for the blue zones. I don't know if you heard of the blue zones,
No.
different areas of the world.
Yeah.
They see people live longer.
Oh.
And part of it is in Japan,
Right.
Okinawa.
I was gonna ask, if Japan is one of them. Yeah.
So like they studied a village of people where like they drank this water that was always shocked by thunder, right?
Interesting.
And then they try to mimic it in real life again. So by shocking water, it will actually split the molecule into H2.
Right.
And the H2 actually gives our body antioxidant, anti-inflammatory, and it helps our body to neutralize all the bad stuff. So that's where hydrogen water helps us. But there's many different ways of making hydrogen water. You can make it with a tab, you can shock it the water, right? So there's different tiers of hydrogen water too. But that's most
so interesting.
Like,
and it's not just like taking electrical wire and just
no,
zapping water. Like, that's dangerous. Don't do that.
Don't do that. You'll kill yourself.
Yeah.
And there's those like silly Amazon bottles too, right?
Right.
Those
are popping up pretty.
Those are popping up and everywhere. But like I always go back to them, like if those things are created in the factory of China and there's no quality control, and when you shock the water, you need metal. But when the metal is not quality metal, you're drinking heavy metal back into your body, so you're poisoning yourself.
So it's actually not that.
No, so that's why I'm like, if you're into hydrogen water, like get a quality one, right? Like study it and see if the plates are coated nicely.
Yeah.
How long does it last? Like a machine should last you at least 30 years. Like a real ionizer should last you 30 years.
Interesting. Before we get into that, let's talk about antioxidants, because as an entrepreneur, and especially with like my kids, I noticed, like especially with my son, like we fed him cereal before, but I noticed when he eats cereal, he just gets like, he talks like a gangster. He starts throwing fits, and I'm like, something is wrong. So then I really looked into antioxidants, and then giving him like high protein breakfast, so like eggs, boiled eggs, and then berries with Greek fat yogurt with honey. Right. But antioxidants, I realized, I'm like, oh, that's something I think I missed a lot. And you can still see in my face, I still have like acne scars. There's still acne coming up. And I had a huge problem with inflammation just throughout my adult life.
Right.
And so what am I not understanding about antioxidants? I'm eating berries here and there.
Right.
But could you maybe walk me through like what looks like a good I guess routine of consuming that antioxidants? And I think you're saying like hydrogen water is a form of antioxidant as well. It's actually maybe the best form.
It is.
So I think you said it was like the smallest molecule.
It's the smallest one. It's the most active one. It goes everywhere, all the way up to your brain, into your cells. And there's no negative component to hydrogen water. So when it neutralizes it, it doesn't create a byproduct in your body. Because usually other stuff will create, when they bind to your negative stuff, it creates a byproduct. But hydrogen water doesn't, because when it binds, it produces water and you pee it out. So like it hydrates you, it neutralizes all the bad stuff, and it gives you energy. So like when I ask people like, why won't you do it? I was mind blowing. And then it usually comes down to the cost, right? Because an ionizer is not cheap. Like a quality one goes up to $6,000.
Oh wow.
USD.
Yeah, right? I didn't know that.
But I'm saying it lasts you for 30 years.
For your health.
Yeah, and it's for your health, and it's for your whole family. And it produces other types of water that you can wash, like pesticides off the food, and you can clean without like bleach, without all the chemicals. So it gives your home a non-toxic living. But back to the antioxidant level, is just like, you can use vitamin C, you can use food, you can use your diet, you can use like all these other antioxidants, which is great too.
Mm.
But like we don't always eat healthy, right?
That's true. Yeah, there's a lot of fried food in my
even
diet.
supplements, you might not take it on a regular basis, or
That's
you
true.
might miss it here and there.
Yeah.
But water we all need, and if you don't drink water, you die.
Right. So might as well invest.
Why
in
don't you
something.
upgrade your water to the very best and just let it do that, right? Because like, let's say kids, right? You
Yeah.
can't really always feed them supplements.
Right.
They might spit it out. They don't like it. They don't like the texture, whatever it is.
Is hydrogen water safe for kids as well?
Yeah, for pets, for kids, for it's just like water.
It's just
right?
like water.
It's just upgrading the performance or the functionality of your water.
Oh, interesting.
And talking about like water now, like in most American cities, because we process the water, which we need. So we need a lot of chemicals in it. And when a lot of chemicals in it, like the filter, they're taking out the taste and the odor, but they're not really taking out the actual chemical.
Interesting.
And when we drink a lot of those chemicals, even if it's diluted, right?
Right.
In the span of 10, 20 years, that's why we see so many autoimmune like disease.
Yeah.
We see kids with like all these things,
like skin,
skin issue, gut issues.
Right.
Like ultimately it's the gut. So like answering your question, like you have a lot of inflammation in your skin is actually coming from the gut. And that's where my other like focus is in the gut, because I had a lot of acne too. Growing up like into my like late 20s, early 30s, I had acne everywhere.
Right. You look like an early 30 or like late 20s. I'm like, wait, what? It's like, hold on, time out.
But yeah, like acne was actually one of my biggest struggle, and that's how I went into like health and wellness.
How long did it take you before you realized you overcame like, and it subsided quite a lot in terms of?
Like a year or two.
Okay, so
like,
I can't just be like, I drank 1 week of hydrogen water and then
it will see a change.
I do notice a level energy difference, but then like my routine of like family, and I think it's an excuse that I'm putting on myself. So okay, so for about a year I should be a bit at least consistent.
Yeah. So like you need to, everyone needs to pay attention to the gut, right? Because more and more people are having issues, but they're not looking in the right place. The root is always in the gut, because that's where our absorption is. That's where we detox. Right. And if we don't take care of these two things, you're literally full of shit.
We'll beep that out.
Right. So like, and your like stuff is going back into your bloodstream. Like so the toxins is going back in there because your gut is leaking, which is called a leaky gut as well. And it affects your skin, affects your mood, affects your energy levels. Like all that is in our gut, right? And if our gut is not, and you're constantly like just harming your gut, it's gonna be hard.
Meaning like fried food, late night snacks, salty food.
Yeah,
especially
like,
the Korean ramyuns.
and just like unclean water, right? We're not even talking about hydrogen water yet. We're just talking about like clean, non-toxic, non-chemical water that you're drinking on a daily basis.
So like tap water itself, even though it's relatively clean, rest of the world, it's still because it's treated.
There's so much chemicals in it. And there's so much pharmaceutical drugs in it now. There's so much microplastic.
Right.
Like, yes, I grew up drinking, I came from Vancouver.
Right.
We have glacier mountain water. I was taught that open it and we can drink it.
Yeah,
it's nice and it's cold and it's crisp. But now it's not the case. There's so much pharmaceutical drugs, microplastic that was never around so much. Like 30, 20 years ago.
Yeah. So I wonder if we can sort of go into the performance of the entrepreneur. So like you said, if your gut is not healthy, you're everywhere, including your brain, is not going to function properly. No. Okay, so do you have like a routine maybe like where it's like, do you call it cleansing? Or is it like
cleansing, detox,
or do you think it's like easy as just like, no, just keep drinking hydrogen water, get yourself some way of getting quality hydrogen water and then consuming that over time? Or is there more things? I know there's other routines that you do.
Yeah, I do a lot of routines and that stuff. But for everyone who starts, I would say like start from fasting. Yeah.
How come?
Because it's kind of like a reset. It's like a reset button for you to press for your whole body. Like I would ease in, but I would always suggest people to start a fast.
Okay.
Like even like a 12-hour fast is not that hard.
Okay, so I was just gonna ask, I'm like, so if I stop eating at 7 p.m. and it's just like sleep and then wake up at 9 a.m.
You did a 12-hour fast.
So that in itself is a good start.
Yeah, it's a good start.
That's interesting. Okay.
Yeah, and then you slowly push your limits, right? From 12 to 15 to 20. Try to aim for like a 24-hour fast.
Okay.
If you do it right, you should.
And is that with without water or like?
No, with water.
Oh, with water. Okay.
With,
So
like,
I'm like,
but like
that sounds hard.
with water or tea. That's it.
Oh, okay.
No coffee you can, but like you'll feel the crash. So I don't suggest people to do that.
Could I add honey in my tea or?
Not really.
Not really. Okay.
Because you're supposed to stay below 100 calories.
Oh, interesting.
To not break the fast.
Oh, interesting.
Right. But when you do it right with clean like water,
yeah,
you should feel more energized.
So and clear, like less
clear. Yeah.
Brain fog.
Yeah. Like you can even like do like mushroom coffees. I don't know if you've had it. Like, no, like real mushroom coffees, like with ashwagandha, like lion's mane, reishi, like all these herbs.
Right.
In Asian cultures.
Right.
And those actually clear your mind and give you more mental focus, less brain fog. And like, so if you do your fast within like with the right liquids with low calories, you actually feel a lot more energy.
Okay, so fasting, so maybe start with 12 hours, get up to 24 hours.
Yeah.
What's some of the next steps that you would encourage somebody to do?
Help it with some supplements.
Okay, supplements
like herbs or like mushrooms or even N&M. Like it's big now. It's like
I don't know what that is.
It's like really big now.
Terminology, I don't know. Yeah.
Like there's so many supplements during the fast like people can take to help with the like mental clarity, the energy level.
Yeah.
Without like starving, without like crashing, because people are always scared like if I don't have food in me I can't
feel
think,
like I'm gonna die.
Yeah.
I'm so dehydrated.
Yeah, but like it's actually not the case. If you do it right, like you actually feel more energy and you actually want to do it longer.
Interesting.
Like when you're hungry, so a lot of times when you feel hungry you're actually thirsty, and as we age we actually lose the sense of thirst. So as we age, we think we don't need water, and we drink less water because we're not thirsty. But when we feel hunger, it's actually our body telling, "Hey, I want water." Right. So like, it's more of like awareness and education in this point. Like people are just going for food instead of water.
Right.
Because technically, we don't need so much food. If you look at your body, if you don't have like six packs abs, you're eating way too much in terms of like unhealthy food, or you just fill it. You're fillers. Like we're filling it with like calories.
Right.
That doesn't serve us. That's why you hear all these.
I feel bad about my dad bod now.
But I'm just saying like I'm not perfect too. But like I'm just saying like I do filler foods too. But like it's just more aware now. Like stick to whole foods. Like all these stuff I think a lot of people know already. But it's not about like picking hacks. Like I was saying like the other day, it's not about doing like these trendy hacks.
Right.
It's finding a ritual that works for you. But it's a combination of like everything that is taking care of your mind, your body, your hydration, your detox, your gut, everything in together so that it works for you.
Okay, so let's say I've did a 24-hour fast and I want to start eating again.
Yeah.
In the Korean culture, if you're sick, like and you have a upset stomach, porridge is like, or juk we call it, like the rice with a lot of water. That's what we consume first. But do you suggest like is there a way to introduce the food back in again?
Oh yeah, slowly.
And not just like go back to eating like junk food.
No. Like fiber or like bone broth, like
pho, like
pho is good.
Yeah.
Like a lot of fiber, I would say. Slow in, like ease in the like, and then just like slowly
so like berries, vegetables. Is it too hard? Yeah,
vegetables are great.
Okay,
like vegetable soup is good too. Like just ease in, and then you can start eating whole foods, like non-processed foods. So like meat, vegetables, chicken, fruits, right? But like in our culture, especially entrepreneurs, I when I first grinded like the first 2 years, I didn't care about food. I didn't care about like I just want to like microwave it, eat it, and then get back to work. And then like
instant food.
And then like when I'm stressed, I'll probably munch on things. Like like those are like the habits when I first started as an entrepreneur. Like I was in like survival mode and get shit done kind of deal.
Right.
Like I didn't care about like all these stuff.
Right.
But as I get mentored by more and more people, they're like, you need to look at your diet and your health, because without that, you got nothing. Like I worked with a billionaire, and he was looking at all the staff, and they were like very strict. If you eat like garbage, like don't even bother. Right? He's like,
bother coming to work, or like,
yeah.
Oh wow.
He's like, I need an A team, and he's very strict on his whole team. It's like, you need your health before you come into work, because I need you to be at performing A game. And why would you eat all those garbage? Because you hit inflammation, you hit brain fog within 1 or 2 hours of
After
eating
lunch,
it. And you're on my team working on it, and you're not on A game because I know what you ate for lunch. And you're in brain fog mode right now, low energy mode. And you're trying to pass by, and he's like, I need everyone supporting me to launch this thing. So I was like, whoa. Yeah, they are serious about this stuff, right? And like I talked to a nutritionist of this billionaire. She was like, yeah, like the first thing I changed it for him was the water, because he had all these organic or chef and water, blah blah blah. But he was like, the water is not as A game.
Interesting.
So she changed his water like first thing. He's like, your water is not serving you. Let's change that. And it's 80% of who you are. Right. So you can't. She's like, as a nutritionist, if any nutritionist come in and start changing your diet without changing your water, fire her. Wow. Because it's 80% of who you are. Right. 30% is your diet. Right. So what makes you think you having all these organic, homegrown, whatever you want, and then not changing the 80%, like as a number guy or whatever, it does not make sense.
Math is not mathing. I think that's the saying. Wow,
right?
That's crazy.
So like when I learned about that through all these high level people, I was like, they got it right.
It's making an impact on your life as well.
Of course. Okay. And then, but again, I hear all these like, I don't have the capacity to operate at that level, or I don't have the source of fund or whatever. Sure, then do it one by one, right? Cut out like bottled water. Yeah. Because we buy like going to Costco, like people just
packs of water.
Those bottle. I grew up with that too.
How
like,
about if you're going like camping or something? Like, do you? We actually recently bought just a top, like it carries like I think 3-4 gallons worth, which is like a couple like 10-12 liters of water, and we took that to Blue Mountain when we went skiing. But I'm like, I think this is a better alternative than buying bottled water. Yeah. And then we brought our own like water bottle for ourselves in between, so that we just like fill it up and then use it. So is that a good way to approach?
Definitely way better, because like you're avoiding microplastic. Right. Microplastic is like a big thing now. Like it's in our coffee cups. You know, if you go to Starbucks, that lining inside is actually plastic. Like all these little things that I wasn't aware of actually is blowing my mind. We're exposed to plastic everywhere. Right. And if we're not like aware of it, we're taking in this microplastic, and it's proven is in our brain, is in like our organs, it's in our blood, like everywhere now. And if we're not aware, we're feeding kids. And what makes you think your kid is absorbing all the great food that you're buying them when there's like a coating of plastic around? It's kind of like having a latex glove, right? In their digestion.
Yeah, I think, and I think listeners listening to this, again, I think fear sort of comes into mind. It's like, oh my goodness, now I got to change everything. But you're saying it's like, well, you can do that, but there's a way to integrate it. So like not having bottled water, eating clean water, first of all. That's not just getting rid of the odor or the smell. And then if you can get access to hydrogen water, get that. You think there's anything else that could be suggested here?
No, it's just like step by step, right? Just being more aware. Like I wasn't perfect. Like I grew up with Brita. Like I was an immigrant child. Like whatever is cheapest. Like
just drink tap water.
Like just survival kind of thing. Like I came from that too. But like it's just about educating yourself and being aware. And I think in comparison, like long term, your health will actually kill you if you don't take care of it. Like, let's say eating McDonald's was cheaper
Right.
every meal,
Mm.
right? And it is kind of is sometimes. I think
Yeah.
like getting like a McDeal or like
Happy Meal. Or
yeah,
something like that.
it's way cheaper than you going buying food and like to a restaurant or eating quality stuff, right? But let's multiply that by 20 years. Your health will not be at a stage where you're able to perform, and you're not getting any younger.
Yeah.
So that hit will impact you way harder down like 15 to 20 years.
Yeah.
And we're not talking about it. We're just a lot. I especially in big cities, we're all in survival mode.
Yeah.
How do I get to work?
Right.
Get off work.
Yeah. Come back home.
Get home and redo the whole thing again.
Like,
yeah, like I get
while.
it. I totally get it.
Yeah. Okay. The principle I want to draw from this is that when there's good things like hydrogen water entered into your body will automatically learn to work it out to start fixing itself. And if you do things like fasting as well, it'll also reset the body to what it's naturally capable of doing. So that's really cool. I want to dive into your story, your personal story of how you got. I know you were in the banking.
Yeah.
And then something must have happened for you to turn away from that.
Yeah.
And then go through probably the Asian parent talk. It's like, mom, dad, I'm not the, what are you doing? What? Right. And then having to go through that, how did you end up here in your journey of going through the system and then going through the social promise? Yeah. What's been your journey like?
I think it's a struggle, like you said.
Yeah.
Coming from Asian background, it's always like good grades, you know, good job, right? And then like buy a house, get married, and all that. Married, like I climbed the corporate ladder for I think 7 years in the banking industry, and it wasn't until my mom was in the banking industry as well, and she was burnt out. So she got depression. So I had to take care of her. And then, so I was like in and out of job.
Yeah.
And then my manager was like, I can't give you always half days. And working at a job, you know, there's only so many holidays.
Yeah.
And even if you cut that in half, that doesn't equate 80, like 50 something weeks.
Right.
So like that was a struggle. So that was a wake up call of like, okay, I see my mom working her life and then giving her life to the bank, drove her into depression.
Yeah.
And it didn't matter to the bank. It was just so replaceable. So it's like, okay, it's done.
Like, thanks, bye.
You're on disability.
Right.
And then I start questioning, like, I needed time first to take care of her.
Yeah.
And then second of all, I start questioning me, should I go back? Because I'm just as replaceable when I'm climbing. I was in my early 20s when I climbed it because I started working at 18.
Wow. And this is before COVID too.
Way before
before. So like COVID. Some people say like, oh, I got really stressed during COVID. So like people hit the wall, but you're saying this happened all before.
Way before COVID. Wow. Like I was climbing the corporate ladder since 18, and then I hit like the head office. But like then I had this struggle of like taking care of my mom, or should I keep going, or like what should I do? Like
what was going through your mind? Like what feelings were you frustrated?
Why me? I cursed a lot.
Okay.
I cursed a lot. I prayed to God. I'm like, why the fuck is it me?
Yeah.
Like why? Like I asked why a lot, and then it was a journey in terms of like healing and like actually learning like, okay, like I'm capable of that. So switching my questions, like instead of why, it's like I switched to how.
Interesting.
Because I think when things happen like that and I stuck in why, it's like a victim mentality.
Yeah.
And it's never coming out. It only goes down and never goes up.
Oh.
So I was taught by like one of my pastors, like, stop asking why. This happened already.
Yeah.
And start asking how. How can I deal with it? How can I grow from this? How can I overcome this?
Yeah.
So then all these questions asked internally, it's exposing me to different answers now. And I'm no longer in a victim mentality where I'm downward spiraling. It's just like, why me? Why this? Why that? Right? So like that really helped me change.
So it was your pastor that helped you?
It was like a sermon. He's like, stop asking why, start asking how. I'm sure a lot of entrepreneurs or mentors would hear that too.
I think there's a book about it too.
Oh, yeah?
Who not? Oh, actually, no, it's the opposite. Who, not how.
Okay.
Yeah. Finding the who rather than figuring out how. But
Right.
sorry, yeah, I digress.
But yeah, like stop asking why, but like start asking how.
One of the things I love about a couple of your posts, and it's a common theme that I bring on to the guests. It's a lot of unlearning or undoing the things that they've learned through the system.
Yeah.
Like trying to be the A student, never asking for help.
Yeah.
In that stage and period of time, which I resonate because my mom was a banker, my dad was a banker in North York as well. And she also went through a phase of, going through her mental illness, even being hospitalized. And I was so frustrated because I was saying like, first of all, how could mom let that happen to her?
Right.
And I think she just did not recognize all the signs that was already showing up.
Yeah.
And because, the parents' generation, I honor them. I love them for what they've done. And they're all just about providing for the family, right? And I think you probably were in the same shoes of thinking as you're starting to work. And so the question is, what was some of the undoing and the unlearnings you're doing as you've changed the question to why to how? And you said you were starting to get some answers behind that.
That's a lot of that's a big question.
Yeah.
A lot of unlearning. I think Asian culture has its good and its bad. I don't want to like deem it all bad.
Right.
And like you said, like our parents' culture is just like suck it up, and as immigrants,
you're sick.
I remember my mom would be so scared to go into work, even if she's sick. She's like, what if someone replaced me?
Oh,
what if my boss does not like me? What if she thinks that this is fake?
I'm being lazy or something.
Yeah.
I'm not being responsible.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so good.
And in Asian culture, it's like you need to work until you're dead, and you still need to climb back up and perform
in your corpse.
Not just like do the job, but you need to perform while you're dead.
Yeah,
And I think there's a good and bad. Like that's why when you go to Asia or Asian culture jobs, they're at their A game.
Yeah.
No matter what, there's no emotion. There's no how do you feel?
Right. Yeah.
I don't care.
Like
get the job done.
Get out.
Feelings are out the door.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? And that kind of got ingrained into me when I was growing up. It's like no one cares about how you feel. You just need to get the grades.
Yeah.
Get the job. Climb the corporate ladder. Show up. Find the right boss to work for, and you just need to get there.
Right.
And throughout that journey, it's just like a win-lose kind of journey too. Like the corporate culture is like, if I need to win, you need to lose. There's never a win-win situation.
That is so true.
But the more I'm in entrepreneur, like the right community, obviously,
yes,
it's always about win-win, and it's proven that there can be win-win.
What?
Yeah. But like in the corporate culture, it's like always win-lose. It's like I win.
Yeah, somebody else is getting that position, or it's gonna be me. Like, right?
Exactly. And like that's something like also like a lot of unlearning is kind of because in school, like in university, in the corporate, it's always win-lose, and it's so ingrained into us. It's like if you think there's a win-win, you must be out of your mind, right? And if you play in a win-win situation, your opponent will like eat you up alive, right? So there's a lot of fear in that, and a lot of like kind of generation trauma, and it's like
patterns of behavior,
like, why would you think like that?
Yeah.
Like, why are you showing your weakness and letting other people win?
Yeah.
And even all the board games that we grew up with is like, I win, you lose, right?
Like, that's true, yeah.
Like, there's so many of these things that's just like very
ingrained
subtle.
in us,
so subtle and so norm.
That's right.
And it's if you act the other way around, you kind of look upon as like, what are you doing?
Yeah. So walk me through now how you were in that stage of taking care of, and I hope she's better now.
Yeah.
So how did that transition work out for you in terms of jumping into health and wellness and in the space of social media?
It was not easy.
Did you do other jobs before? So like for me too, like I was teaching, but once I got out of it, I was like trying AI agency. I did Airbnb, house flipping, and then I arrived here to doing now podcasting and coaching.
Nice.
But I wanted to hear your story of how you navigated that.
So
journey.
much, like probably like same too. I did Airbnb for a while.
Yeah.
hosted almost like 100 units.
Wow.
Yeah. Like a lot of different things. I think entrepreneur is like doing so many different things, knowing that it's not for you or you don't like it, whatever it is. Like, I think that's part of the journey and part of the fun.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, there's a roller coaster of emotion and like your bank account going zero.
Sometimes minus, yeah.
Yeah, sometimes minus.
If you leverage too much.
Like all those are like part of the journey. And I always hear it from mentors like, oh, you need to enjoy the journey, you need to embrace the journey and all that. I'm like, fuck this shit. like, I just want the end goal, right?
Yeah.
And then
making money with the least amount of effort or
right. Or like not as stressful, like all that, like this kumbaya kind of thing. But like it never exists. And I always like I kind of embrace it now, but there are moments where I'm like, I don't want this anymore, right?
Yeah.
But yes, I dabbled through so many different things like Airbnb, waitering, so many different things like affiliate marketing, like micro like influencing. I tried to grow like social media presence in many different apps. I started in Weibo. I don't know if you know about it. It's like a Chinese app.
Weibo.
Weibo. Yeah. So that was my first app that I kind of like worked on. And that's how I earned my first kind of income online with Weibo. But now it's kind of like Twitter. Right. But in Chinese. And that's how I grew my following and like my first kind of income online. And then I switched to WeChat. And then, so every app and every kind of period gave me the platform to earn money on that app. But now it's obviously Instagram.
Right.
But I tried many different apps, not just jobs. I think like testing different jobs, but like in terms of entrepreneurs, like different platforms. Right. So like I started from Weibo to WeChat, and then I dabbled in a little bit of YouTube, like getting those paid partnerships. And then now it's like just strictly Instagram.
And where did the health component sort of like come in? So I think you mentioned affiliate marketing as well, which I think is like one of the best ways to grow if you really know how to do it. Where did that piece sort of like enter into your life?
I think right in the very beginning, because of my mom's health, my health, I told you like I had a lot of acne. Like that was always something that bothered me. Like I was like trying all these medicine, TCM, drugs, like
acupuncture probably too.
I even did like Accutane. A lot of people.
I did Accutane. It was terrible. Accutane is so terrible.
But I bit the bullet and did it for 2 years.
Oh my goodness.
So like
2 years. You know what? This gives me hope because I did it for 1 month. And side effects was so bad. I was driving and I want to drive over a person. Like and it said like acute anger or frustration. It could be. And I'm like, this is so dangerous. I need to get off of this now because I cannot be driving. But I can't believe you did it for 2 years.
Because I wanted it so bad.
Wow.
I wanted clear
But looking at your glass skin, I now have hope. I have hope. I'm like, after this podcast is done, I'm going to ask you for all the skincare.
I want it so bad because I got teased. I get like affected by it. Like
self-confidence is low.
Oh, so low. Because like I would have like blood bleeding on the side. And then maybe the shirt I was wearing or like the chair I was leaning against would have like blood stains, and I was like, oh no, that's me. I was so embarrassed. Like no matter what I did, where I go, it was just like I was kind of, but you can't really hide your face. You know? If it's in your back, you can still like people have a lot of back acne, but that's still fine. But it's your face, you can't cover your face like 24/7. Right, and you have to kind of pretend it's not there too.
Just like go for it.
Go for it. And then so that was where the health kind of came in. And then but I tried so many different things, diet, all that, just but I end up in the gut. And And that's when I found
That's where
my
you found
answer.
your answer in your gut.
Yeah, it's gut. Like the gut is so important, but nobody wants to talk about it. It's because we think it's so dirty, because that's where all the shit is. But that's also where everything is. Your immune system, your happy hormones, how you sleep, how you digest food, how you're absorbing food, how you're absorbing all the great, amazing, organic
nutrients.
stuff, right?
That's right.
But if your gut is not absorbing well, it doesn't matter how like organic you're buying or how homegrown you're buying.
Can somebody test how healthy their gut is? I don't know if that's a bad question. If you can test how healthy, and maybe like skin obviously would tell. For me, I know right now it's not the best, but could you test in some way, whether if it's like just looking at a person, or like not those medical like blood tests? I guess that's one.
You kind of need to do like medical tests, like blood tests or like stool tests.
Oh, stool test. Okay.
Yeah, because a lot of people actually have what is it called, like
constipation.
Yeah, that too, but like parasites. Yes.
Oh yeah.
Like
parasites.
bugs, worms, parasites in there, and it's causing a lot. And it comes from I don't know. I love sushi, like sashimi and raw stuff, like Asian, like a lot of raw stuff.
How else can you live? Yeah.
That actually has a lot of bugs and like parasites and all that, and I didn't know too. Like, and it can live in it like in harmony, because we're just a host.
Right.
We think about it, we're just a host.
Okay, so like for those people that may imagine like, oh, I don't want to listen to this episode because like we're just talking about little like crazy worms living in. But it's not that. It's like we're talking about microscopic bacteria,
that
organs.
is in our gut.
Right.
And science has actually proven that we have less human cells than bacteria cells.
Interesting.
So we're literally just a shell of hosts.
Yeah.
And we're just operating this shell. But crazy thing is, the bacteria in our gut actually have direct access from the vagus nerve, from the gut, all the way up to the brain. So when you're feeling moody, anxious, depressed, it's hangry, like everything is from our gut.
Wow.
So it controls a lot more than we think. But we don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, because it's where our number 2 stands.
Yeah.
Interesting. So how are you breaking this conversation with people?
I go straight into it. I'm like, you're full of shit. No, there's no other way. Like, but like with a little humor, I guess. Like, it's just like, and that's when we can break the ice. It's like, okay, I can talk about, stool.
Just talk about it. Yeah.
Yeah. Like when there are some clients that I coach, I'm like, let's talk about your stool. Like, is it solid? Is it brown? Is it watery? Like, are you constantly going? Like for guys, a lot of guys actually go to washroom right after they eat. That's right?
Yeah.
So
like, is that bad?
Yeah.
Oh, really? How come?
Because like there's something triggering in there. You're not like letting it absorb. Even let's say it's your first meal of the day and it still happens. A lot of the guys I coach, they're like, that means it's moving. I'm like, you're not absorbing as well.
Oh, interesting. Because I thought it was like more like, oh, it's the morning. That's when you sort of like take care.
Sure. But like it shouldn't be after every meal.
Oh,
like right away.
Right after meal. Okay, yeah.
There's a lot of guys that go right after, like literally they finish and they're like, they'll go. There's so many of those.
Okay, so there's a distinction between like a routine. So like if I eat breakfast today, in about maybe hour, 30 minutes.
Sure, that's fine.
Yeah. But you're talking about the people that eats it and right away they get the signal.
Yeah.
Wow. So that's one of the red flags.
Yeah, for a lot of guys have it.
Interesting.
Like a lot of guys would eat it and then they go and then they think it's like they're healthy, it's moving, I'm having healthy bowel movement.
Right.
For girls, it's mostly bloating.
Interesting.
Like
so
if
like
they get
gassy
like
or like
bloatiness, especially in their abdominal, like if they're bloaty, like that's another sign of like unhealthy bacterial growth.
So that's how you start the conversation, saying like, how's your stool movement and are you feeling bloated? And then if they say like I thought this was normal, and then what do you usually take the conversation from there?
We have to check out like different symptoms like brain fog, right? Tiredness, like fatigue, like how's their sleep, right? Like all these, and the next stage of it is inflammation. So a lot of people are not actually fat. I always tell people, you're not fat, you're just inflamed.
What?
Yeah, because you can't be growing an extra inch or two so fast because
Yeah.
it takes time for calories to build up, to fat to build up,
And
right?
muscles if you're
But
working
it
out.
takes only a couple seconds for your cells to be inflamed.
I've never heard that. Wow.
So meaning like, you know, like how like you get a pimple, it gets inflamed, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Imagine that in your whole body, right? Like you can get inflamed in anywhere, especially a abdominal
Right.
area. Like
Not in the form of a pimple, but still
no,
it'll
but
still
like
grow.
you're
right.
inflamed. Like
Right.
your cells are inflamed. Your gut is inflamed. So you grow in size in inches. But people are like, oh, I grew fat. You know,
Yeah.
so fast. I'm like, fat can't grow that fast.
Yeah.
Yo, it takes a couple of weeks for you to lose it and grow
Right,
it.
right.
But like I would say at least 60% people are inflamed. They're not fat. There might be fat in there.
Yeah.
But most of them are inflamed. They're just like puffy, like their arms, their legs, their
And they think it's
abdominals.
normal because maybe
They think
they're
it's
working.
fat.
Yeah, they think it's fat, or they're. I think about a friend of mine who works out, but he's doing his business, but he's just busy, always feeling. And I know that guy, when he eats right after, it's like he goes to the washroom type of thing. So, okay, inflammation. All right, so I'm inflamed. I think I'm not fat, but I'm inflamed. And is there another one that you usually talk about after that?
No, then I would say like let's dial it back down, right? Like let's slow down your inflammation, because right now a lot of people are more aware of inflammation.
Yeah.
But it's also called inflammaging.
Inflammaging.
So you're inflamed and it actually ages you way faster.
That reminds me of the time when I went to Korea last year to get my, you know that like you sit in front of this monitor and they tell you the age.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
like, I clocked in at 38 or something. I was like,
Okay.
no, because I was like only like 33 or 32 or something. So, but okay, can you walk me through what that entails?
Because inflammation can happen anywhere, and
Yeah.
inflammation is good. Like that's our body's defense system and
Yeah.
how we protect ourselves, right, from bacteria and all that.
Mm.
But chronic inflammation is not good. Meaning
Chronic
like
inflammation,
you're long-term inflamed and it's not coming down, right? And my acne was chronic inflammation, part of it as well, because I'm constantly having acne.
Yeah.
Not because I'm not cleaning right or eating right.
Or
It's-
like
I'm
doing
just-
the double cleansing.
Yeah.
I tried all that stuff too. It's like, you think I don't wash my face? I get so offended.
It's falling off, right?
Yeah.
I totally hear you, but
Yeah.
like inflammation can happen everywhere. Your brain, your skin, your gut, like everywhere. Like if you have asthma, that's part of inflammation. I grew up with asthma, and,
Okay.
and that was part of inflammation too. So like inflammation can happen everywhere, anywhere in your body, and if it's chronic, meaning it's like long term, it's not normal.
Right.
It means like your body is chronically trying to fight something, and it's like at stress level.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
we need help. We need help.
Yeah. Yeah.
But our culture is like, okay, it's normal, whatever.
Oh, that's so. Can I ask a question? That's maybe a candid question. So I believe I'm in that chronic inflammation state, because obviously you see it. And when you say let's dial it back, if you talk to your clients or your people that you work with, and you say let's dial it back, is it possible to heal, or is it? Because I sometimes think it's just done. Like I just gotta live with this, and this is how my life is gonna just look like for the rest of 40, 50, 60. But you're saying no,
It's possible.
it's possible.
Yeah.
Okay, what does that dialing back look like, if you can share? And maybe you're giving too much sauce away.
No worries. It looks into your whole life, right? From every aspect. Like again, like our most basic, your water, right? Your liquids, your diet, and then your sleep, your stress, like your environment. Like some people are living in countries where air is bad.
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
Like
Air
it's not
quality.
just water, like the most basic stuff, like air, water, food,
Sleep. Yeah.
like those things are toxic already.
Right.
Like if your listeners are in those countries, like we need the basics at least clean, right? We're not even talking about hydrogen yet.
So we're not even
like
we're talking about fixing things. Yeah.
Yeah, we want to clean air as well. Like Toronto is pretty bad because like.
Oh, it is bad. I was gonna say, I'm like, all right, I got clean air, but you're like, no, Toronto is pretty bad.
Because like we don't have a lot of trees in Toronto.
Oh,
I came from Vancouver. We're like full of trees. You went to Kelowna.
Yeah,
You probably saw,
Kelowna was nice. Yeah,
like so many trees, mountains, and all that. The air.
I felt
like,
happier too. Yeah,
and like I think that itself, like, because we have so many cars, pollution, right?
Airport
Highway,
too. Yeah,
like it's and when those can't be fixed, it's okay. But
Yeah.
like back to you, like inflammation, like we look into your diet, your habits, and everything. Like we really want everything to be clean, right? What you're eating, actually, kimchi is really good for your gut.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I actually was avoiding that because I thought it was too spicy for me.
Right.
Because my kids, my son eats it at
Yeah,
5 years old, which I'm happy because he's like, rice itself is not good. Like he puts it in the soup, puts a kimchi, like he eats like a Korean. I'm like, yo. But then I realized maybe like, and for him we washed the pepper off, so this is better. So then I started eating that way. It makes me feel less tired because of maybe the inflammation going down. But yeah, I digress.
But no, look, there's less spicy kimchi, right? Like, and you can homemake kimchi too, right? So kimchi is good is because of the probiotic. So microbiomes have good and bad. It's about the balance of it.
Yeah.
So sugar feeds the bad bacteria,
which causes inflammation,
which causes all the
everything
things, and ultimately you get inflammation. So like bad skin and inflammation is always the end result we see, but the cause is going way back, right? So like balancing that bacteria is important, and we just need to be more aware, like processed sugar, not any sugar. Like a lot of people are like, oh, fruits have sugar. I'm like, yes, I get it. I hear you. Okay, processed sugar, added sugar, right? Then is adding onto the bad bacteria, so it's growing way out of control.
I see.
And the good bacteria feeds on fiber, which is like vegetable and fruits, right? So if there's no balance on that, then there's outgrow in one power, and your good bacteria is suffering, right? So it's always about balancing back it, and through our diet, right? Like having more vegetables, having more whole fruits, less processed foods, like meat, vegetables, fruits, and not processed, period, right? Like you eat it as is, right? I don't go as extreme as like the raw diet or like the raw liver or whatever. Like let's talk about normal people, like just balance the sugar and your fiber, right? Have more fiber, less processed sugar. Like some people eat like pop, like drink a lot of pop, or even diet pop is bad because like it just mess up the gut lining,
right.
So it goes all the way back to your gut, balancing the bacteria in the gut, heal the lining of your gut, and then eat normally, and then doing all the like de-stress work, whatever you like to walk mentally, or you want to work out or do grounding. I love grounding because it's just going back to nature.
Grounding, for those listeners who don't know what grounding is,
it sounds so silly, but
standing on grass.
When I first did it in my backyard, and like my parents were like, "What are you doing?"
Just standing there.
It's like they're slippers.
They're slippers, right? Like no,
but
that's
like,
the whole point.
The grounding is literally just contact with Mother Nature, Earth, like sand, ocean, grass.
Why is that important?
Because it helps with inflammation.
How?
It so when your body, your skin touches Earth, it balances out the ions. So there's a charge within our Earth, and there's charge within our body,
right?
But when we touch the Earth, it balances it back out, and that's what causes inflammation. There's actually
grounding causes inflammation.
No. To
not touch the Earth for a long time causes inflammation.
Okay. And this was actually by a book that I forgot his name, but it's called Earthing.
Okay.
He was the inventor of like, I think Wi-Fi or something big in technology. And he came out with this. It's like he promotes people on earthing. So there's actually a YouTube documentary about earthing, and it's him just telling people why nowadays earthing is so important with all these technology and all the stress, and we're so far away from nature that actually provides us anti-inflammation for free.
Wow. That's how on the pendulum swing we've gone out.
We're so far. So far, and we're going into the AI stage.
So if I was to draw the principles, you're saying like, hey, don't even like think about what kind of food you're gonna like, what healthy food you're gonna eat, or like what kind of probiotics you're gonna take. Like if you feel that you're inflamed, obviously get that stool checked, or you just go to a family doctor or something like that, or
you can
ask for it. Okay. And then, but when you do that, you dial the inflammation back just to the basics. Are you sleeping good? Are you eating good?
Yeah.
Is your water clean
Yeah.
and filtered?
Yeah.
Not like just with the odor and the smell.
Yeah.
And what was the other one? It was like grounding. Like are
Grounding.
you deionizing? Like
Are you dealing with your inflammation actually?
dealing with your inflammation? Yeah.
Like I think people come to me and like, oh, I don't have money, I don't have time, whatever. But like literally standing on your grass or your backyard or just go to a park and just stand bare feet, that can help your inflammation. Not all to the all the way, but like it can help a little bit.
Yeah.
But that's all free, right?
Yeah.
Like, and I think a lot of like even my audience comes in and say, like, I don't have money.
Yeah.
I'm on survival mode.
Yeah.
Or like entrepreneurs, like
Right.
I'm starting right now.
Yeah.
I don't have your luxury or time or whatever to do all that.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, I get you.
Yeah.
Can you do like grounding while you're on your laptop in the backyard? Right? That's free.
Yeah.
But that's already helping you. Your nervous system, your inflammation.
I wanted to go there. I wanted to ask this question was like, if I'm an entrepreneur just starting out, or like a mom or dad just have a newborn baby, 9 to 5 is really busy, but I want to get my health in order and I don't have access to hydrogen water or that nature. If they have 15 minutes a day, what would you suggest they do? And this is such a bad question, maybe.
15 minutes.
Yeah.
Short. I would start from grounding.
Okay.
I start from grounding for sure. Because that helps with your mental too. It calms not just the inflammation, but it really calms your nervous system. It's providing you're safe, you know? I think it goes back into a lot of our nervous systems. Like, are you safe? Are you loved? And if your nervous systems know while you're like, you know, entrepreneuring or 9 to 5ing or whatever, like we're on survival mode, a lot of people. And your nervous system needs to know that you're loved and you're safe. And that you're okay. But a lot of the times we don't. We're playing a constant background.
Like fight or flight.
I'm getting fired. Oh, I'm so stressed. Oh, like all these things are happening. There's a war, there's inflation.
News,
I can't afford food. I can't afford his bills. Like whatever. All these are like bad, negative thoughts that's constantly playing in our media, in our culture, and everywhere. Like that's their survival mode. And I think we need to go back to our nervous system. It's like, I'm okay and I'm safe. And grounding does give your nervous system that kind of safety. It's like, okay, I'm okay. Yeah. I'm safe. And that's why I like fasting too, is because I'm telling my brain it's okay not to eat for a whole day and I'm still okay and I'm still safe.
So how do I say this? You're saying I'm in charge of my body. Like, don't freak out, nervous system.
Yeah.
Right?
Because I think ultimately we want to have control of our thoughts too. Like one of my mentor, Bob Proctor, he's always saying like, we are our thoughts and our thoughts become reality.
Yes.
But this doesn't come, I guess this was learning from an entrepreneur too. Like it's our realities is our thought. And if we don't learn to control our thought, you can't control your outcomes.
Oh, that's so good.
Right. Yeah. And I think that's really a practice because we were taught to let it go.
Yeah.
Automatic.
Yeah.
We can't control it. It's happening to me. But in reality, it's like we can. That's why people meditate, I think, too. Right? It's going to nothing.
I also saw you talk about massaging
lymphatic system.
Yeah. And if you're just listening to the audio, I'm sort of like putting my thumb on my chin, and like trying to rub my face and the cheeks. Does that also help too in the 15 minutes that I have?
That can. I mean, during your shower or whatever. Lymphatic system, like you see it as the trash system of your body.
Okay.
It's like, you know, we have blood vessels, like veins, right? That's for blood, for oxygen, for nutrition. But there's another system called lymphatic system.
Lymphatic system,
where it's taking out our trash.
Okay. And they only exist in our...
No, everywhere.
Oh, it's everywhere in
everywhere,
our body.
like our blood, everywhere. But so how we move, there's no pump in it. So our blood has the heart to pump it.
Right.
But lymphatic system has no pump.
No pump.
So
garbage is sitting there.
Okay. And so how it moves is through movement, physical movement.
Interesting.
So when your muscle contracts or when you move, like that moves the lymph fluid.
Yeah.
But we're so used to like sitting at a desk, sitting in a car.
Yeah.
When we go home, we Netflix and chill. Like there's not a lot of movement, not a lot of physical movement. And and those lymph collect garbage,
Right.
and they get swollen. It can
Mm.
happen behind your ear,
Right.
or like around the neck area.
Yeah.
For women, it's like around the breast
Yeah.
area,
Yeah.
even in the groin. Like it's everywhere. But like those are the areas where you feel the lump first.
Interesting.
And that's the body telling you, I'm full of garbage. I need some kind of flush out.
Can you help
I
me?
need your
Yeah,
help, right?
yeah.
Antioxidants help back to antioxidant, right? But physical movement is free. Like just going for a walk, it's free.
That helps too.
That helps because you're
Okay.
moving, your
Right.
muscle is contracting,
Right.
and it's moving your lymph fluids.
Yeah.
But that's also going back to like ancient like Asian culture. Like
Yeah.
they have like a lot of like those like
Oh
just
yeah.
padding.
Yes.
You know?
Yes. You're right.
Like,
The yeah.
I don't
the
even know whether
pockets, yeah, you try to create
they're
the
just
pockets.
like padding.
Yeah,
and then
all over.
When I was young, I look at that. I'm like, that's so silly. You're not lifting weights like
Yeah.
Tai Chi or whatever.
yeah.
I'm like, that doesn't help. But now, like when I get
You're
more knowledge,
wiser.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, it actually helps because they're moving their lymph.
Oh.
They're like, you know how old people doesn't work out, but they look great. Like
Yeah.
even in Asian, like Korean culture, I'm sure, like because they practice like these small movement that's helping deep down the lymphatic
drainage
system.
of the
that is, they're like padding and
Yeah,
then, like, putting- they're not lifting weights, but
Yeah.
they look great because they're taking out their trash. So
Mm.
imagine you are doing number 2 in your toilet
Yeah.
all day long, every year.
Yeah.
You're not flushing. How
Oh, if you're
smelly
not
that
yeah,
is,
you're right.
Or you're like
That's a good imagery. Next time I go, I'm like, I'll be doing this on my toilet.
So like simple like pushing, like just touching or like padding.
Yeah.
Like you don't need a lot of force because
yeah.
imagine every movement, physical movement, you're moving the fluids and it's taking out all the trash that we're exposed to from the water, from the food, from the air. That's our natural system, right? But we're so into our habits that's not helping the system.
Wow.
So that's why like it's a good and a bad. It's
Yeah.
like we have all these technology, but we're sitting all day.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh man, we can go for a long time. And we're hours coming to a close. Maybe I'll ask one more section of question. It's I want to lean into either sleep or breathing, like breathing exercises.
Breath work.
Yeah, breath work.
Yeah.
Which one do you find it more interesting to talk about?
They're both good, but I think so. I've been diving into breath work a lot as well.
Okay, let's talk about that then.
I think being an entrepreneur, there's a lot of anxiety happening.
Yeah.
A lot of unknown, and I think there's no one to help you to. Like for those who are just starting entrepreneurship, we don't have the luxury to hire, you know, to pay to go to the summit, to hire all these people, right? These are luxury.
Yeah.
Like if we go back maybe like 5-10 years, like we didn't have that luxury to do that because we're trying to earn money.
Right.
Like to hire
in the 9-to-5 job. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. To hire a mentor at that level, like
Yeah.
you need investment, right?
That's right.
So for those who are just starting or like in survival mode, I would like breathwork is actually like more than enough, right? And just learn, right? Like 2 in your nose and 1 out of your nose. Just
Okay.
This will just calm it down.
Right.
Like this is the most simple. And then Wim Hof, I'm sure like a lot of people heard of him. Like his methods work a lot. Like, but like just simple of like 2 in your nose and 1 out of your mouth while you're driving, right? And don't go crazy because you might go lightheaded. But but my point is like simple stuff like grounding, breath work, like these things, and like moving, like walking.
Yeah.
All these are free.
Which one have you been diving into in your progression of breath work?
I've been doing like a lot of like inhale with the nose.
Yeah.
And then out again. So no.
Okay. Oh, is that with like Tony Robbins? Like while you're
similar to that.
Okay,
and then you hold it for like a minute.
Oh.
And then you exhale after 30 of your nose.
Okay.
So
Okay.
30 in out of your nose.
Right.
And then at the end you hold it for a minute and then you exhale. It's part of the meditation that I do too. Like it's kind of tied into like the Indian like meditation kind of deal. It's going into like the chakra and like the third eye and all that. But I think breath work is definitely more help than sleep because most people when they're stressed they can't sleep anyways.
Because I was gonna ask about like getting like blacking out your windows
Oh yeah,
or like
yeah.
eating not eating, taking the supplement for what's that
Magnesium.
oh yeah, magnesium
Yeah,
to
yeah,
help
yeah.
you like cool down and then
Yeah,
go
yeah.
to sleep.
There's actually a grounding mat that you can sleep on
Okay.
that helps your sleep. So if
Interesting.
you people like I hear a lot of people who don't want to step on outdoors,
Yeah.
especially the ladies.
Yeah.
They're like, "Ee."
Yeah,
So there's grounding mats and grounding bed sheets that you can sleep on. So you're doubling your thing.
Time
You're
of-
sleeping,
yeah.
you're resting, you're grounding.
Also, you're like stacking the good
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, you're habit stacking. So
Oh,
like there's
interesting.
actually like quality grounding bed sheets or like pillow or
Yeah.
mats that you can stand on while you work. So you're stacking really micro habits into getting you there
Right.
at performing with the elites,
At the
right?
highest
Yeah.
level that you can. There's so much more talk about, and I'll bring you back on for another episode.
you,
But
thank you.
yeah, Ben, where actually no, yeah, Ben, what exciting things are you working on, and where can people find you related to inflammation, eating the right foods? I even wrote down all these foods that you wrote, like rather than eating. No, these are good for. Oh, I think you said in the post, rather than doing skincare, eat these foods like avocado, bell pepper, kale, broccoli, and sweet potato. Like, I think people will be interested to take control of their health, especially people that are busy starting out. Yeah, but what exciting things are you working on these days, and where can people find you?
Social media, Instagram, Benyim 33.
So BENYIM
33.
33.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's my everywhere, like TikTok, YouTube, everywhere. That's my handle.
Okay.
Exciting thing is like really launching the health program that like rebirthing it to helping more people. Yeah.
So what is that? Is it like a community coaching group?
So it's like a ritual.
Okay.
So it's a ritual that like I teach people so that even after my coaching, because going through so much coaching,
Yeah.
I was like, shit, after they leave, I'm
Sort
on
of
my
on
own.
their own. Yeah.
Right? You might have the community, but you don't always have the community right beside you. So like,
or the habits that you would have liked to pick up. Yeah.
Definitely. So like I'm building a ritual for like these people so that they can take control of their life, so that with or without a mentor, with or without a community, you can still practice all these rituals that's tailored to your problem, and then we progress from there.
So is that like a sign up on your? Do we just DM you? Or
yeah. So if you DM me ritual, I give you a free guide, and then from that free guide, I provide pretty much everything already, and then from there we can knit and pick and like customize something that's for them.
It's like a 7-day plan, or what should they expect?
90-day.
90-day plan. Okay, gotcha. So DM Ben ritual.
Yeah,
and he will get you
the free guide.
This free guide.
Yeah.
There you have it.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well,
thank you.
Yeah, thanks for your story, and
thank you,
it gives me hope knowing that you went through worst, even 2 years of Accutane, but you have glass glowing skin.
Thank you.
And I know we'll talk about, I think gua
sha.
Yeah, we'll talk about that on the next episode. But yeah, I'm happy to have you back on for the next one.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, awesome.
Thank you. Yeah. Thanks for sharing that. Yeah, thank you. But I think it's like that's like for everyone, like in terms of entrepreneurship and like having a journey. I want to actually ask you about like, because I saw you with your wife. I think that's the episode where you were having money programs. I would love to like dissect that with you. Like,
so like let me just take some more B-rolls here and smile for the camera.
So like, because like I think coming from an Asian background, like money program is such a big thing for us. Like the mindset. Right. And I heard you like how you're changing your mindset and like
so the question, Lewis House?
Yes, I do. I actually listened to his that's how I found Dan.
Dan Martell through Lewis House.
Yes.
Oh wow, what a small world.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was the reason for it.
Yeah, so I followed Lewis 10 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how I found found Lewis through, I think, Omar. So when I was getting into this coaching for him.
Okay.
So Omar does Lewis's setup. for all of, like his podcasts.
sick.
So like what you're getting, this is like what Lewis,
the Lewis setup.
yeah, and I think he adds maybe like a different lens for the camera, but like
that's so sick.
yeah, and he has a bigger room and like different staging lighting, but yeah, like the gist of it is based because like from what I heard, I was like Lewis, he did so many podcasts for a long time, and then he hired somebody to buy, I think, like high-end gears. And when Omar came in, he's like, yo, you don't have to get the most expensive to get the best. He called it drippy, crispy look, right? And then Lewis was like, what do you mean? He's like, no, let me do this for you. And then he set it up. He's like, I love it. Let's do it for the next podcast studio we're building on. So yeah, but when Lewis said in his short, he's like, you know, if money was to walk into the room, how would you react to it, right? And I was like, I all of a sudden got so like, how dare you be late to like this? I was trying to confront it with anger and like trying to manipulate it because I was fearful or like, I was surprised by that. I was like, why am I having this reaction about money? And I was so curious. I asked my wife, I was like, what do you react? She's like, why do you react like that? I would react it as like a meeting of friends. Like, hey, how welcome? Like long time no see. I'm like, you would? I got so curious. I asked other entrepreneur friends and they're like, yeah, some of them said the same thing as my wife's like, welcome. But the other friends were like, oh, I'm just neutral. Comes and goes. Like I make a lot of money through stocks. I lost a lot of money. It comes and goes. And I was like, wow, that's such a story. I mean, I haven't initially clocked it in my unconscious, right? And so what I've done was my reaction was that. So then I set out to journal and then decide for myself. No, from now on, I'm now going to say it as like welcoming a friend. And then that week, I mean, we actually have my wife's best friend used to run baby product companies. So like baby silicone plates and stuff. So we had a stash of them downstairs because I was like, oh, I'm going to help you with like e-commerce, whatever. Wrong decision. But on Facebook Marketplace, there's a lady that comes to buy for $5. I'm like, $5. Wow. Thank you for showing up in my life. Like, good to see you, good friend. Right.
Yeah.
And then the following, something was unraveling in my head too. And then we had about 18,000 units in the basement. There's like box and crates of, it's crazy. Like when we were about to move, it sort of spilled onto the streets here. So all the neighbors were looking at me. He's like, what the heck is this Asian couple doing like with all these boxes? But for the longest time, I was trying to sell it. Some guy was trying to like rip me off $3,000. But I found somebody for $7,000.
Okay.
And then I got the cash deal. And it was done in 2-3 days, where I was holding on to it for a year and a half.
Yeah.
Trying to move this thing. I'm like, oh, it's like sweating, right? But then I realized, wow, there's more opportunities like this that's just coming away. And when I got the cash, I'm like saying, thank you again. Thanks for, wow, hey friend, like long time no see. And so even with this, I even spoke to my wife yesterday. I'm like, you know, once AI conversation kicks in, just like what Dan says nowadays, it's like courses are not going to be needed because all of the information is going to be stored in, it's going to be filtered through AI agent, right? And I will be talking to only my agent. Maybe I'll wear it in the glass or a thing, but all the information is now going to be stored online. So then what's important for us? Well, if I want to be ahead as an entrepreneur, building relationships is the most important. Because then I'm going to be like, hey, Ben, my agent is going to talk to your agent. We'll figure out a deal and then we'll go from there, right? We'll come back tomorrow, sit down for a meeting. And then, so that I'm realizing, man, this money as well as relationship in my stage of life right now, even though if you look at my bank account, it's like, ooh, like, why are you doing this? But for me, I see the potential that I have, especially with Asian people. They need a bit of courage to be like, hey, someone else figured it out, of unraveling themselves, which allow them to push their business and finally do something fulfilling in their soul, rather than just going through the social promise and finding out, getting angry. What? I went through this, got a 40K job rather than a 160K job, and I'm still not married, and like, I don't have a house. House is unaffordable. The older generation is just labeling us as like a generation that just sucks. Yeah. Like you're mentally blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I believe God is not going to let us be remembered for that. And I think there's so much more untapped potential and unlocking that needs to happen with younger people like ourselves. And so my journey has been so interesting in that way.
I would love like to go deeper with you like on a whole new episode, because when I heard, like, I was watching you and your wife talk about it, and with the book, right, his book, I was like, shit, I really want to dive into like that, because like the Happy Money, like whatever you're doing, is by Ken Honda.
Ken Honda, yeah, that's right.
Happy Money.
Yeah,
so you thank money
as it
out
comes,
and come.
Yeah. You're right.
Yeah.
What aspect of that was interesting to you? Do you think it's like trying to like tug at you to be like, let's look into it a bit more?
Like, you mean the podcast clip?
Or the money, like the talk about money?
Because it's hard to talk about money with Asian people without feeling shame or guilt.
Shame, guilt, and resentment.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like Asian culture is all about money.
Yeah.
But we don't talk about it. And we don't want to talk about it, how we make it, how much we make it, how it comes, how we spend it, how much debt we are in, or how much all that stuff is taboo, but we love money.
Yeah. That's right.
Like,
That's right.
If you look at all Asian cultures, even Indians, like, we love money.
Yeah.
But we don't really want to talk about it.
Yeah.
And then it's hidden, but we want it so bad. And then in the family, it's like, if you don't have that, it's like you're shit.
Yeah, you're shamed. Yeah.
like all that is just like, what why? Like, it does not even make sense to me. And to be in our generation, we're kind of getting stuck in like in the middle.
Yeah.
Because we're raised by our parents, our culture, and then we see all these online entrepreneur like gurus, and they're making money like 100K a week, and then you're what about it? So I'm like, oh, that's such a good topic, and I'm like that's why I connected with like the podcast you did on Lewis Howe's book.
Yeah.
But like in Asian culture, it's like, oh my god, like I don't know where to hide. You know, like
that's a good way to put it. I don't know where to hide. That's a good way to put it.
Like, I'm in so much debt, but I need to show up, you know, during family reunions, like, you know, we need to dress properly, we need to bring gifts,
you have to eat, especially for the girls, eat less a couple days before so that they don't get called fat.
Like all these is just like the money, right? And then like it's just so messed up.
Do you think if we talk about money more openly that we will become more successful as a generation?
I think so, because I think like if you shed light on whatever it is, there's no space for darkness.
That's so good.
Like, if you talk about it more, it doesn't make the thing worse. You're just educating and you're bringing light to it, so you're not scared of the dark. It's kind of like, as a kid, it's like, oh, there's a boogeyman in there. But when you shine light on it, you know, you can see exactly there's nothing, right? Then there's nothing to be afraid of it.
In your opinion, is there an opportunity right now for entrepreneurship?
Yes,
definitely.
I think it with ChatGPT. Oh, it's so much easier.
I tell my wife too. I'm like, honey, this is like the best time to be alive right now. Like, you know how fun life is right now, and like, I mean, the social promise that people are still dearly holding on to, and then the reason why I love teaching too is like the pension math. It's like the pension, Canadians have the greatest teacher pension. And that's a fact. And the people who manage it, they do a fantastic job. The teachers that have stayed in the job to teach these kids to get that pension, like, wow, thank you for your service. But for me, if I were to imagine another 10, 20 years of it, I know by the time I get out, that pension promise is going to be gone. It's just math doesn't math out.
Right.
So that means I'm left with more years to work with. And that whole retirement concept too, I realize it's one of the things I had to undo. Like, I still want to be working when I'm 75, 80. Okay. Still teaching people, inspiring them. Yeah. But I don't want to be just like sitting and like almost like getting ready to die now. Just go on some cruise and vacation, right? But I really think too, like, if you uncover the way to converse with people, especially about money, especially with young people, and again, as a high school teacher, I get challenged. They're like, sir, I see so-and-so making this amount. They're making more than you. I'm like, yeah, I get that. Part of me wanting to teach comp sci was because at that time, that was a coding boom. I wanted kids to realize, oh, I have the way to make money with software. But then as soon as ChatGPT came out the following year, I'm like, yeah. I mean, there's other things that happen, crazy stuff like seeing blue lobsters in the washroom, like kids kicking down the door, and like kids thinking, because I'm Asian, like I'm a student, I also have acne too, right? Wanting to fight with me in the hallways. I'm like, you can't do that to me. Like, and the principal's like, just go write a report to the board. I'm like, this is assault. Like, this is battery, but what they've done up to my face, that's assault.
Right.
Just write I'm like, no, thank you. I think there's a better life, better calling. And meeting people like you really energizes me, because I'm like, there's another Asian guy who went through all this stuff and finally saying there's a way to create a win-win situation.
Yeah.
So I'm really happy that I connected with you online first.
Yeah.
Also to know that you're in Toronto. So I'm like, I always thought there's nobody else like investing in themselves here. Like, come on.
I do find it. So I'm having this challenge right here that I find more connection in Vancouver, but I was raised in Vancouver. Yeah. But in Toronto, I find the culture here is more corporate.
Yeah. That's
like I lived there
corporate and consumer.
Yeah. Like, and the mindset is like more corporate. But I don't want to label the whole Toronto. There are entrepreneurs that come from Toronto. But yeah, like I think it is a challenge. But yeah.
One more challenge. One more challenge I want to just say is Asians, we love information gathering, but in terms of taking action, unless they're in so much pain, like yourself, like myself, we don't take the actions. Right. So until I was faced with kids wanting to beat me up, having nightmares, like kids driving up in their Jeeps and wanting to fight with me, and like it was brutal. And then I said, I want to change my life because of that reason. But maybe any encouragements you want to give to those people that are in a good state, that's able to change and take that next step? And
I think Asian culture is so raised by
racist.
Raised. Yeah. Asking for permission. In school, you need to be good in school, but in order to be good in school, you need to behave. In order to behave, that means you need to ask for permission for everything, even to go into washroom, right? Yeah. Remember? Oh, can I go to washroom? Yeah. Oh, get the hall pass, right?
Yeah.
Like, I think stepping out and being an entrepreneur is stop asking for permission and ask for forgiveness. So that means you act first. If something went wrong, sorry, I didn't know. I won't do it next time. But we're so ingrained to behave, to be the good kid, to be the kid.
Yeah, the poster.
That everything, underlining, you need permission.
Yeah.
Because you see, like, Asian kids and Caucasian kids, Caucasian kids just run, scream, yell, do whatever they want, live their life.
Not all of them, but yeah, majority of them.
Right? Like, Asian kids are just like, they don't dare to move.
Yeah.
They need to behave. They need to sit and be quiet. Can you sit and be quiet? Can you just like, at the restaurant, like, can you just look at your iPad? Or don't be so loud. Like that's the Asian thing. Like, this is just behave, right? But what does behave mean? It's just like, deep down is asking for permission. But like in life, there's no, who do you ask for permission to live your life, or to pursue your dream, or to become an entrepreneur, or to sell whatever on the side to make money? Like, you kind of need permission. But like, I think deep down that like we need to get over that.
And let this episode be at least a crack. This space. And the reason why I do this intentionally with other Asian entrepreneurs is because when I see other Asian entrepreneurs crack the egg and like open it, I'm like, I can do that too. I want to do it, and then I get to do it. So anyways, thanks for the convo.
Thank you. Appreciate it.